Hey guys, Chad here from Take It or Leave It, here with a movie review for you for the film Lurker. Here's the synopsis. A retail employee infiltrates the inner circle of an artist on the verge of stardom. As he gets closer to the budding music star, access and proximity become a matter of life and death. Alright, with all that down guys, let's get into the pros and the cons, starting with the pros. Well, I've got to start with the performances first, because the performances are fantastic in this film, in particular from Theodore Pellerin. Part of me wants to liken his performance and his character, Matthew, to Jake Gyllenhaal's character from Nightcrawler, but not only are they different, I actually think that Matthew may have more layers to him. And it's fascinating to see Matthew kind of unfold in front of us and evolve, because at first, when we see Matthew at the beginning of the film, when he's meeting the entourage and all that, we see him wide-eyed and smiling, but my reaction to it was, oh my gosh, this guy's such a dork. I mean, it's kind of adorable, right? But funny enough, that same kind of look later on in the film starts to take on a whole different meaning. And while I do think that all of the performances were pretty fantastic across the board, I do think it's this reason that Theodore's performance stands out in particular, where he's able to kind of stay in this pocket but capture different meanings with similar facial reactions from one act of the film to another act of the film. But the next person I have to commend is Alex Russell, because I think it's Alex's writing and his direction. He's able to draw this out of Theodore's performance. And not only is he great with his actors, but he also just has a very unique visual style from a direction perspective, but also a unique storytelling style as well, where this film doesn't really have a beginning, middle, and end per se. We're kind of just dropped in the middle of this series of events, and then these events just go one into the other like dominoes, just falling one into the other, and it just kind of evolves from there. And while I do think there's a cost to this approach, I think for the most part it works, especially for this particular story that they're telling. It's really interesting to see the story kind of slowly change over time rather than have big shifts from one act to the next act to the next act. But one of the tools at Alex Russell's disposal is the musical score and the sound mixing, which is just brilliant. In particular, there's a scene that stuck out to me and I was like, this is it. This is the scene of the movie that just captures this film in a nutshell. And I won't go into spoilers, but it's just a scene in which Matthew is bringing along his friend to introduce to his entourage. He's kind of doing his friend a favor. And while the scene starts off kind of happy-go-lucky and people are laughing, Matthew's having a good time introducing his friend, the camera stays fixed on Matthew and the musical score just starts to build and it keeps focused on Matthew and the music continues to build and all of a sudden we start to realize, oh shit, something's happening around Matthew and something's happening within Matthew as a result. And I think that the musical score and the sound mixing really helped in that scene, and it helps throughout the film. And lastly, while I do say that this is not a traditional 3-act structure to this film, I have to point out that there are some really cool, interesting, and unique twists and turns along the way that I didn't see coming. So it was nice to be surprised, and it was interesting to explore these twists and turns and see where they went and where they took our characters. But with all that down, it's now time to get into some of the issues that I had with the film. The one thing I'll mention that I alluded to earlier was this kind of non-traditional storytelling approach that doesn't really have a traditional 3-act structure, or so it seems. This kind of series of events approach ends up being a little meandering at times, and I kind of sat there wondering like, okay guys, what are we going to do with this? Like, are we going to get to where are we going? And eventually I got the answer to my question. I understood where we were going, but there was once or twice where I was kind of confused and a little bit worried, where the hell we're going? Are we going to go there soon? And I think that that was part of the cost of that unique narrative structure. But also with that, I'd say that the film seems a little bit overly long, at least in my opinion, and I think that there's like 5 to 10 minutes that could be cut out of this film that would help with some of the pacing, that could minimize those meandering moments that I was referring to. This film definitely definitely has elements of Nightcrawler, Whiplash, Foxcatcher, and The Talented Mr. Ripley. And I gotta say, at the end of the day, I thought this was a pretty fantastic and unique film that definitely stuck with me after seeing it. It was not a comfortable viewing experience. I'm not gonna say that it was, but it definitely left an impact. And I was thinking about this film for a while, for a couple days after seeing it. So Alex Russell, you're officially on my radar. I'm definitely gonna check out The Bear, and I'm gonna give Lurker an 8 out of 10. But those are just my thoughts. Take it or leave it. What do you guys think? Have you heard of Lurker? Have you seen it yet? Do you agree with me? Are there any other movies you'd compare this film to? Let me know down in the comment section. Let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this video but you want more information about what's on my watch list, what I'm currently watching, the kind of ratings I'm giving these films, as well as upcoming releases I'm looking forward to, don't forget to follow me on track.tv. My username is TIOLI_reviews. The link is in the description box. Go ahead and click it and start following me on Tracked, and I look forward to seeing you over there. And as usual, guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate it. Don't be afraid to hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, I'm Chad from Take It or Leave It, and I'll check you later.
Check you later. Check you later.
Hey, man, get off my case.
Oh, man. Chicks don't want to hear that shit.